If you've used Canva Code before to build apps, mini games, or interactive experiences, you will love what's new in its version 2.0. Canva just dropped 3 major upgrades that make coding with Canva smoother, smarter, and way more useful. All right, let's cut to the chase and go straight to Canva AI. So from your Canva homepage, in order to access Canva Code, you need to click on the Canva AI button. You can also click on the button on the sidebar. And once you're here, make sure you select Code for Me. Okay, so from here, you will be able to use one of the templated prompts right here. You have a selection of 10 or so different projects already kind of prompted for you. So feel free to use that. You can also access your recent chats. Okay, so you should see some of them right here. You can click See All to open the side menu and access all of your recently coded applications or experiences with Canva Code. Okay, and before I jump into the demo and code my project together with you guys, just want to let you know that Canva Code is available for all Canva users. The difference is that free users will have 20 messages that they can send to Canva Code per day, while paid users will have 60 messages. And when I say sending messages to Canva Code, it means just writing a prompt or a follow-up prompt. So that answers the question, who has access to what measure to Canva Code. All right, so this video will be focusing on the 3 major improvements that Canva made to Canva Code with this 2.0 update. Okay, all right, let's get into the demo. To save you a bit of time, I have already done some research and some tests, and I came up with an app right here. It's an interactive emoji shopping list. And I will go through the different versions of this app and also show you really what's new in Canva Code. And to make this video short and sweet, save you some time, I already kind of coded the project, but I'm gonna go step by step through all of the different versions. You'll see I have 4 different versions of the app. So we went through a little bit of back and forth with Canva Code, but it all started like this, with this very simple prompt right here. Create an interactive shopping list that uses emoji for more fun. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first version that Canva coded for me. My shopping list, tap emojis to add items quickly, and I can see some shortcuts. Okay, so with the emojis, so if I want to buy and add eggs to my shopping list, I can click here, it will add the eggs, pasta, banana, whatever. Or I could use this box right here and type whatever I want, like chocolates. Yes, give me lots of chocolate. But I don't have an emoji for chocolate. Well, at least the app didn't think of an emoji for chocolate. So I can delete my items from my basket with this button right here, or I can simply cross them if I already put them in my basket at the shop. Right? So very simple, 3 items, 1 completed, 2 remaining. All right, so this is the first version that Canva created for me. Now, in the what's new area, I can see right here on top of my project that I have a button. This button is new and it says data. Okay, so when I click here, I can see that my app is now connected to a Canva sheet. Okay, shopping list V1 Canva code. So if I click here, I can actually access the Canva sheet right here, and I have my 3 columns with created at. So this is the date. I have the emoji, I have the text, and I have kind of the status of this item on my list. False is when the item is not yet ticked on my list, and true is when the item is actually put as ticked or checked on my list, and therefore it's supposed to be already in my shopping cart or my shopping basket or caddy or whatever. So if I come back to my app right here, I can see banana indeed should be true because it's ticked by the user. Perfect. So we can see, and this is the first major improvement, that Canva Code can now collect data or create experiences or apps that allow me to collect data in a Canva sheet. So this is a fabulous improvement in my opinion, because it opens up a ton of possibilities. So that was V1 of my shopping list, but I was not completely happy with this, mostly because of the lack of emojis right here. So I went back to the drawing board and I said the following. All right, add more emojis than these 12. Okay, the 12 here. I need emojis for every possible item, to which Canva responded, okay, I'll expand the emoji selection to cover way more shopping categories. Okay, and it gave me this version 2 of the app. And you can see right here in version 2, I have my emojis broken down into into kind of like emoji categories or shopping item categories. So household and personal care, condiment and spices, fruits and vegetables. So this was better. Okay. So maybe I could get rid of all of these items on my shopping list right here. And I can simply add, so beef, or I can add a croissant or whatever, like this soda. So it's not super clear what is it that I'm buying by just clicking on these emojis. Okay. So for example, let me find one that is not clear. Yes, here, this dog thing. Am I buying a dog or am I buying dog food? Baby, am I buying a baby? No, baby food, obviously. So yeah, this was not completely clear. And I don't like that there are so many emojis, because there are still some stuff like if I want to buy, I don't know, like shoelaces, for example, there's no emoji for that. So it will by default give me this shopping bag item right here. If I want to buy soap, though there is a soap emoji, it's still gonna give me this shopping bag kind of like emoji right here. So without doing anything else, I just went straight back to Canva and I said, remove the sections with emoji. Okay, I don't like these sections. Instead, when the user enters an item name, pair it with the relevant emoji. And also remember the most used items or emojis and pin them on top for quick add to the list. So basically what I'm asking here in this version 3, let me show it to you, is to remove all of the emoji like that were already pinned here. And instead, like if I want some milk, I start typing milk and then I can see the relevant emoji. So if I add it to the list, now it's added to my list and it's saved in my most used items right here on top. Similarly, if I need some bread, I start typing bread, the bread emoji shows up and it's also pinned kind of like the shortcut right here on top of my list. Because at the end of the day, when we go shopping, we often buy the same stuff again and again. So this was way better. Okay. So at this point, I was ready to try the second thing that Canva promised we would have with Canva Code 2.0. Are you guys ready for the second big improvement? And by the way, if you're new here, my name is Ronny Hermosa. I'm a Canva verified expert, and my goal is to make sure you know what's new in Canva before everyone else. We share updates just like this one every single week. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you hit subscribe. Well, the second big improvement has to do with customization. So when you click this Use in a Design button, let's say I'm going to open this on a website. It's going to create a Canva website, add my app right here in the website. And when I click on it, I see now this floating menu with some new buttons. I can see the first one that says Edit. So when I click on Edit, I see two fields right here that I can customize. The first one is my shopping list. So it's the title of my app. Okay. So if I want to customize this, I could do something like this. Let me delete everything and type Ron's shopping list. So I customize the text right here very easily. I'm going to make a wild guess here and say that very soon Canva will also let us choose a different font for any text box that we modify on our app or experiences. At the time of filming this, I don't have access to text tab, which would allow me to change the font, but I'm already very happy that I can customize the text itself in the app without going back to the coding section and asking it to, hey, can you change the title of my shopping list for Ron's shopping list? Okay, so this is already a good improvement. Then I can also modify the text on the button right here, add item. I think add item is good enough, but I could say, como add products, add an item. Let's just say add an item. And that's it. That's really what you can do with this. But if I remember correctly, Canva also announced that we could customize the colors of the elements on our app. And from here, I don't see any colors. Okay, I see the edit button that allows me to edit the text only, and I see the data button that shows me that this app is connected to my Canva sheet right here, but I don't see any color button, and I cannot access anything else from here, only these two things. So I came back to the drawing board, so this panel right here, and I said the following: make sure I can customize the colors of the list. So remove the gradient backgrounds and replace with solid colors. So I figured after some testing and errors, then when Canva uses a gradient color in the background of a specific section of your app, like right here, this button, it has a gradient blue. It's subtle, but it has a gradient in this blue right? Same thing with the header of my app right here. So by asking Canva to make sure to use solid colors instead of gradients, I thought I could fix this problem. And Canva told me, okay, I replace the gradient with solid colors and make them customizable through the Canvas color picker controls. Okay. And then it added, you can now personalize 3 different color aspects: the primary color used for the header, background, and the add button; secondary color used for the item backgrounds, favorite sections, and stat footer; and then accent color used for completed item, check marks, and hover effects. Okay, so that is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you the final result of my app, which is this one right here. And I'm going to show you in the design. Okay, it's the same app. It's just that it changed this blue color for a solid color, and same for this button. And now let me show you. When I click on the use in a design and website, I'm going to open a new website. There you go. And now when I click on it, there you go. Ta-da! I see my color buttons. Okay. So remember that if you don't see the color buttons, ask Canva Code to replace any gradients for solid colors. It worked for me. Took me a while to figure it out. So there you go. This is my gift to the world, my gift to YouTube, and to you for learning with us. If you want to thank me, you can hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel as well if you really think this is useful. All right. Now let me show you how you can actually customize these colors. Remember, primary colors, secondary, and this is the accent color for the check marks. I'm going to make this more on brand. Unfortunately, I don't have any brand kit set up because this is not my usual Canva account. It's the Canva Experts account. So there is no brand kit, but you should see your brand kit colors right here and be using that in your apps, which is super cool. But I'm going to put this pink and go for, like, I'll keep this one, and the accent colors, I'm going to go for a purple. There you go. So these colors will look nice. Okay. Perfecto. Now, what I can do is to actually publish this app to see what it looks like once it's published, right? Because that's really the crux of designing these experiences in apps, is to put them online and start using them. So there you go. It created a website. Should carry my colors. There you go. It has my colors. So let's test it. I need some eggs. Okay, eggs. Boom. On my basket. They are right here. What else do I need? I need some Nutella. Okay, Nutella doesn't have an icon, but chocolate does have an icon. Okay. And I like that there is a predictive like input right here. So I can see my last sugar. It's good. And then one more thing, I need a salad. Okay. Oh, there's no icon for salad. A cucumber, maybe? Cucumber. Yes, there is an icon for cucumber. All right. So cucumber. So if it doesn't input correctly, you have to delete it. Cucumber. There you go. So some items have a nice little emojis, others don't, but that is normal. Unless some smart developer decides to create a Nutella emoji, we are not going to have one for a while. Okay, so now let me show you what it means by the accent color. So we see the primary colors, that's the header and the button. We also see the secondary color, that's the background right here, the grayish or grayer background for each of these items. And now the accent color, this purple right here that I coded, is right here when I check an item. Okay, eggs as well. And yeah, that's pretty much how the app looks. Now let me show you how it looks on my phone. Just pasting the URL right here. It should look good. I have no doubt it will look good. Yes, perfect. And I like that it carries my list already. So from my phone, I can keep adding stuff. So tortillas, for example. Tortillas. Oh, why am I speaking Spanish all of a sudden? Probably because I'm excited about these new changes. And one last thing, tomatoes. Tomatoes. All right, tomatoes, add item. There you go. So you can see I can also check the different things. Nutella, everything is checked. Everything is checked. And you see it's actually updating in real time on my desktop. So I'm doing this on my phone and it updates in real time on my desktop. So that's pretty sweet. I love the mobile experience. Looks great. This is actually something I could use when I go shopping. All right, don't you go anywhere. I showed you 2 of the 3 major improvements. There's one more to go. So I want to show you this one now. And for this, let's come back to the part where I actually coded with Canva Code right here. The last of the 3 big improvements is to have a direct publish button right here in the Canva Code section. Before, if you wanted to publish your app your experience, your widget, you would have to go use it in a design first, and then from the design, actually publish it as a website or as a something else, you know? But now, at any time, you can simply publish your app from here. Okay, so you can click that publish button. Canva will suggest a URL and a subpath. So you can customize the subpath. You can choose a few different things, like you can rename it shopping list for, I don't know, Ron's shopping list. You can add your favicon. I don't have any right now ready for this, but you can create one 280 by 280 pixel and have your custom favicon right here. Yeah, pretty much that's it. You can also make it visible in the search by Google. You can protect it with a password. Basically, all the options you can already do when publishing a Canva website. Okay, so when you're good with this, so just be aware here that all of the customization happened in my Canva document. So not right here in the coding section. Okay, so if I publish this, it will be blue and it won't have all of the pink colors and customization that I did, and also changing the name of my app, adding the new text for the button. This will not be reflected if I publish straight from here. But I want to show you. So I'm going to continue and publish this. It's going to prepare the website. And in a similar way, I was able to publish as a website from the Canva editor. It will be published as a website, but now straight from the Canva AI Code for Me section. That's the third major improvement to Canva Code. And I think it's good to have both options, because sometimes you won't need to actually customize your app. Sometimes it would just be good to go. And for those cases, you have the direct publish button. So there you go. Here is my published app. There is one last thing I wanted to show you. Okay. And this is the data button right here. So I'm back to my app from the editor. Okay, so that's the customized version of the app. If I click back on the data button and get back into my Canva sheet right here, you will see that I have this new like light bulb data icon button right here. So if I click here, I can simply refresh the data. So what it will do is that it will check on the latest status of the app and refresh the data right here in this sheet with the latest one, okay, to really match what we are finding in the app. So let me just have a look here. So basically all of these are true, false, false. So what I'm missing on my shopping list should be only two items, should be tortillas and salad. Okay, let's go back and check the list, tortillas and salad. Okay, so there you go, guys. Canva Code 2.0. It's pretty darn good, and I highly encourage you to go check it out. I think the next evolution of this thing should be to be able to further customize my app from the editor, right? What I would love to be able to do right here is to have, for example, to be able to drop a background from the Elements tab to start dropping some stuff into my app, or to change the font of my text if it's not yet possible to do so when you actually see this video. All right, I think I did a good job telling you what's new in Canva Code 2.0. Now, the big question is, would you like Diana and I to create dedicated videos where we go into real use cases and really build real Canva Code projects? If so, let us know in the comments, like what kind of projects would you like us to demo right here on the channel? We'd be happy to jump into that. Now, if you're ready to keep exploring what's new in Droptober, I will leave a link to our Canva World Tour playlist right here, so you can go ahead and watch the next video. Or if you are ready to go deeper and really master Canva, you can grab our Canva Master Course on Udemy. I'll leave a link somewhere here, but also down in the description. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.